Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Keto and the Chaos. My name is Tammy, and on this channel, I like to share all my tips and tricks on how I lost 207 pounds without surgery and how you can be successful on your weight loss journey. So, if that's what you're looking for, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell for more videos like this one to inspire you to get started. Good morning, everyone. I'm sorry I'm 10 minutes late. I tried to log in to start the live chat, and my phone locked up. I don't know what the deal was. Got to crack me a key lime this morning, everyone, so I can be awake. As you mosey on in here, don't forget to say hello so that I can say hi back. We had quite a few people last week. I don't know if it was the subject or if it was the time of day. I don't know. Maybe they just thought I was cute. That's it, right? No. Does anyone else do this? I have noticed I always drink my bang with my pinky up, like some fancy tea drinker or something. I keep trying to remind myself to put my pinky down, but I always put it up. I don't know. It's weird. Maybe it's the way I balance the can. I don't know. All right. I see a few of you coming on in, so I'm going to see who's here. We have Angela, 88 Snuggles. Hey, ironically, Angela, I did a similar topic, not exactly the same thing, but I did a similar topic about a year ago on this channel, and you were also one of the ones who was here. Welcome. Hey, Shelly's Keto Weight Loss Journey. I've just come across Shelly's channel. You guys should check it out. It's spelled Shelly with an EY. Shelly's Keto Weight Loss Journey. Welcome. Sophie Evans from Scotland. Welcome. She says she's lost 17 and a half pounds in 9 weeks. Good job, Sophie. That is awesome. Hey, Married to Keto is here. Married to Keto is one of those awesome subscribers that is always in everybody's rah-rah camp, everybody's support group. I love it. Hey, OMAD365, welcome. Sinsinger, I think I'm saying that right. Good morning. I hope I didn't slaughter that. You'll have to remember. Joanne is here. Joanne Gilmore is here. Woohoo. Guys, this chat is brought to you special request from Joanne Gilmore, who asked me yesterday if I would talk about this. And you know what? If you guys ask me to talk about things, I will try and do my very best to do that. So I was up late. So if I seem a little bit weird, and my notes are all over the place. Like I just wrote and wrote and wrote. I don't know if I'll be coherent. We'll see. But Joanne, I have a lot of thoughts, and I just want to do this for you. Tammy Hinckley's here, but she's got to go in a little bit. You guys should check out her channel. It's Keto Cricket. But it's good to see you, Tammy. And we spell our names the same, which is fun. All right. Let's see. Anybody else? Lisa Sums is here. She's also a very good supporter. She's awesome. I hope it will help you. OMAD365 says they're from Toronto. Nice. Good old Canada, right? I think if I know my cities, I hope so. It'll be really embarrassing if it's like somewhere in Cleveland. Oh wait, Cleveland's a city. I'm a homeschooler. I'm supposed to be the teacher though. Diane Keating, welcome. Awesome. And Karen Rothwell, oh my gosh. She is my moderator and one of my very good friends, and ironically was also on this chat last year when I did this one. So good to see you. I was just thinking about you yesterday because I was kind of going through my old chat on this subject and wanting to touch on some similar things, but not like completely do the same exact chat. And I saw that you were there, and I thought, oh, I haven't seen Karen in a while. And so it's so good to see you. That's awesome. Tiffany Brashears is here. Welcome. Awesome, awesome. Married to Keto says I was homeschooled too, and I always blame my geography struggles on that. I actually wasn't homeschooled. I actually went to public school, but I'm not super awesome at teaching geography. We know some basic stuff. My kids know some very basic stuff about Canada, like where it's located and a few of the cities and a few of the well, we know like there's Jasper National Forest because we have a Jasper, you know, things like that. And that there's lots of girl name cities. like Kimberly and Shelley and things like that. All right. I was right. Toronto, Ontario. That's awesome. Great. Boris K, welcome. Awesome, Karen. That's all right. I haven't adjusted to the early time either. In fact, my kids are all still asleep, and I really sincerely considered starting a half hour late so I could sleep in. My alarm actually woke me up. I've been trying to let myself wake up whenever I wake up, but the alarm woke me up and just like yanked me out of sleep. And in fact, it's so good. I have to show you on my Fitbit. Look what I got from being woken up by my alarm. That's one heart rate high minutes. Oh, that'll do it to you. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get started. I feel like this is one of the most, if not the most, important subject. So I know I have talked about it a lot. Not necessarily like in this fashion though, so I think it'll be a little different. But when it comes to weight loss, I feel like this is the most important topic because I think this is literally something that everyone who has a weight issue struggles with at some level. So first I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story so you can kind of get an idea of where I'm coming from, and then I'm going to go into how I was able to overcome it. Now, knock on wood, right? I love having wood back here. To use the word cured is really scary. I started with weight issues when I was really young, probably the same age that my daughters are, who are also starting to struggle. I think it's just a genetic thing, a hormonal thing. A lot of the people in my family tend to grow out before they grow up. My mom was really good about it. She didn't give me a complex. She never pointed out my weight. She didn't encourage me to go on diets or anything like that. So as a child, I didn't really do a lot of damage to my system. My friends did call me overweight. I knew I was bigger than the other girls. I remember when I was 10, stepping on the scale and weighing 135 pounds, which I think about that now and I'm like, that was pretty big for a 10-year-old. And, I remember feeling big my whole life, but I don't remember being crazy obsessed with weight loss or anything like that. I do remember sneaking food, and I would often sit and just eat for no reason. I tend to be an overeater, but I wouldn't say that I had binge eating disorder. Learning more and more about binge eating disorder over the years, I've decided that I really didn't struggle with true binge eating disorder. So I'm going to talk about the difference because I feel like it's really important. I tended to eat when I was bored a lot. A lot, a lot. And, as a kid, especially in the 80s, we were bored. There was nothing to do. We had no devices and video games and stuff like that. No internet. We had to keep ourselves busy, right? And that tended to be, watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Or was that the 90s? I think that might have been the 90s. Sitting in front of Kirk Cameron, munching up a bag of chips. That's what we did, right? That was fun. Food was fun. And I used food for entertainment purposes probably a little bit more as a child than I should have. And that kind of continued as I grew and became an adult and, through the teenage years, that kind of thing. But I never really was a chronic dieter. I always knew I was overweight, but I was never super aware of watching my food. So I don't think I really suffered from too much disordered eating other than overeating. I tend to eat a lot. So I never found myself binging and purging, or I never found myself starving myself to try and make up for secretly eating a lot of food. So I think that that's the difference between the way I would do it and the way other people would do it. Now, of course, I did suffer from depression, and I think that was where the main issue with me and food came in. I didn't know I had childhood depression. It's genetic. My whole family has it, but we haven't really talked about it or acknowledged it. I wasn't taken to talk to anyone about it. I didn't know it was happening to me. And so I tended to use food as a self-medication. And I think that's the main place where I struggled, was that whenever I felt sad, whenever I felt lonely, whenever I felt stressed out, I would eat because it would make me feel better. And there is an actual reason of why that works. And we are divinely designed that way. If you just think about it, a baby comes into this world in a somewhat violent way. And the first thing we do is we put it to food, right? To the breast, to the bottle, whichever we choose, we put it to food. We comfort the baby with food. Every time the baby cries, we comfort the baby with food, right? Especially if you're a nursing mom, that's literally first reaction. Every time baby cries, latch them on. It'll make them feel better, whether they were hungry or not, right? Even if they're wet or some other reason is causing them issues. So I think from literally birth, we are conditioned to use food for comfort, and we were designed that way. It's obviously meant to be that way, or our bodies wouldn't be reacting so nicely to having food as a comfort. So I don't think there's anything wrong with using food as a comfort tool. I don't feel like it's a problem until we have so much stress or so much depression or so many big feelings, and then we tend to just eat and eat and eat and eat, and we just don't know where to stop, right? Like we kill those receptors that tell us, oh, you are full, you have eaten too much. We overdo it so much that our bodies stop feeling the end of food, the end of where it should stop. And that's where it becomes an issue. And especially nowadays where a lot of us don't really have to get out much. Our jobs are more in offices and we don't really get around that much. And just in the culture where we are now, it's more difficult for us to eat large amounts of food without having a weight gain. And so many of us struggle with trying to keep our weight at a healthy and reasonable level. We don't have that natural programming working for us like it should. It really should. Intuitive eating really should be a thing. We should be able to eat when our bodies are hungry and stop when they are full. Yet most of us cannot do that, which is why I'm not a proponent for intuitive eating. And that's because I don't feel very many of us are actually intuitive anymore. I feel like we have overeaten or undereaten or, controlled our diets to the point where we literally don't know how. Our bodies don't even have the right reactions to food anymore. It's addicted to dopamine. We have to eat more food to get that dopamine rush. We don't have the natural inclination to be intuitive eaters. And so while I think that that's obviously the most awesome way that our bodies were created to be, I don't feel like most of us are capable of doing that. At least I'm not. So, that's definitely one of the struggles when it comes to fixing it, right? How do I fix it? And, that kind of thing. So first let's talk about why. I'll make sure I have my paper in the right place so I don't forget everything, because I will get distracted and forget things. So the first thing you want to do is, if you are struggling with any kind of disordered eating, is you need to figure out why. So when I say disordered eating, I mean any kind of, so if you find yourself actually being a binge purger or a binge, like you basically starve yourself to the point where you need to eat everything and you eat everything and you do it secretly and you don't like to tell people and it's out of control. That's like the furthest level. Or just, overeating because you just don't have a set point, things like that. We need to figure out why. And a lot of times it's hard to figure out why at first. I know when I first started my keto journey, the main thing that keto helped with was clarity. It kind of like washed all of the clouds out of my head and made me be able to like look at myself from the outside in and actually see what I was doing for what it was. And I think that's a lot to do with food allergies and sensitivities to food. It was basically a true reset. And I was able to like really see what was causing me problems. And basically like it's like almost like a cleanse. I mean, I'm not a cleanse advocate, but basically I took all of the things that were bothering my body out and I was able to start with a clean slate. So some of the reasons why you might be a stress eater. So let's focus on stress eating because that's what most of us are dealing with right now, right? I mean, 2020, come on. So discover why you eat. Number 1, comfort. We talked about that. Number 2, cortisol insulin response. So basically, when we are stressed out, we have a cortisol spike, and that spikes insulin, and it encourages us to eat insulin spiking foods, which causes lots of blood sugar up and downs, and the blood sugar up and downs make it even worse. So keeping that cortisol insulin response more level is beneficial, which is why another reason why keto has really helped me. Are you having trouble because you tend to be a chronic dieter? I know this is going to be a lot of you guys. It was not me, but I know it will be a lot of you guys. Can you remember a time in your life where you were not dieting? If you cannot, you need to stop dieting. We will talk about that in length, but dieting or fasting can be a trigger for binge eating, stress eating, overeating. Is it just a habit? Is it just something that you've done forever and you just can't seem to break the habit? If that is the case, be happy, because that is literally the easiest one to fix. All right. So first thing you have to do is decide which one of those it is, right? Which one of those it is. So let's talk about each of those and how we can kind of fix it. Now I'm going to be going back and forth in my notes because, like I said, it is very like, it's disordered, kind of like me. So I'm trying to make sure I stay on target. And yeah, anyway. So number one, comfort. So we eat for comfort. So when you think of comfort, what do you think of? You think of comfort food. We think of warm foods, sweet foods, rich foods, carby foods, foods that make us feel cozy, right? Cozy. They might also help us with depression or sadness or just distracting ourselves from a painful thing. So when it comes to comfort eating, the very first thing we need to do is something that I've talked about a lot on my channel, is to find other ways to find comfort. And it's really hard to do that at first. I remember the first time I was trying to figure out what makes me happy, what makes me feel happy and satiated and comfortable and good, that doesn't involve food. And I couldn't think of anything at the very beginning, like nothing. And then I remembered, oh, I really like baths. So baths became a big deal to me because always that has been my go-to for dealing with hard times or stress. It's just been how I've been naturally drawn to water. And I think a lot of us are, because it does help us relax. It helps just take the weight off of our bones, takes the weight off of our joints. If we add smells to that, especially if they are scents that help us with stress, that's going to help as well. So like I invest in bath bombs. So I spend about $7 a week on bath bombs, not including bubble bath or anything else that I add. Sometimes I also do bubble bath in addition to a bath bomb. And I find that that is an investment in myself. I also find that if I spend money on the things that's going to help me, I'm more likely to use them. So if I go and spend money on a set of yummy bath bombs, I'm more likely to make time to make sure that I take a bath, right? That I take the time. So investing money is also a very good motivator to remind you to do your comfort things. What are some other things that you can do to comfort yourself? A lot of people like to get out in nature, either work in the garden, get their hands in the dirt. There's studies that have proven that getting your hands dirty and actually working in the garden can actually benefit depression. Going for a walk, exercise. Exercise is not my favorite thing, but a lot of people really need exercise to unwind, to decompress, to refocus. And just being out in the sunshine and being in the fresh air can really, really help comfort your body. So the idea is to break up that habit of immediately wanting to go and just sit under a blanket and eat food. Now, it's okay to sit under a blanket with some warm PJs and watch TV if you're not focusing on eating a big bag of chips or popcorn or whatever, or even keto treats in order to cope with life or decompress. Now, if you can decompress without food and doing those things and they don't trigger you, then you should be fine to go ahead and do those things. So I actually also do that. But I find that if I find that I'm craving food, I either get myself like a hot cup of Crio Brew or tea to sip on. Not a bang usually at that time. This is usually a get up and go kind of thing. But something hot and warm, especially this time of year with a cozy blanket, you know, watching a nice Christmas movie like the Santa Claus, or, you know, just trying to really relax and focus on me time. That is a very good reason. So there's lots of them. Okay, I'm sure you guys can come up with, like, if you really start thinking about it, you can come up with things that you know will help you feel better when you're feeling down or you just want to relax and decompress, right? So you need to write yourself a list of those things, because in the moment you're not going to think of them. So I have many of them. Like, I don't even know if I have my list anymore. My notebook that I have my list in is missing. I can't find it. But if you write them down, they'll stick here better, okay? So write down all of the things you can think of that help comfort you. Anything, even if it's small, like, you know, call a friend, write poetry. I mean, like, I don't know, I can't think of a million things right now, but write them all down, okay? Then the second thing is write down safe comfort foods. Now, I used to call them safe binge foods, but I really want to get out of the idea of using a binge as a tool. And especially because I don't know that I really am a binge eater. The more I look into it, the more I realize I was just a comfort eater who was overeating. I don't really think that I was binging in the way that binge describes. And so let's call it a comfort food list that's safe. Everyone knows how much I love my sugar-free Jello. I've been asked a million times, why do you eat that? Is there a nutritional benefit to eating the sugar-free Jello? No, not really. There is not. I mean, not that I'm aware of. But it is very satisfying to me. I love fruit. I love sweet. I'm a gummy bear addict. That is literally my Achilles heel, gummy bears. And gives me that same kind of mouth feel. It's got a little bit of bite to it. And it's filling. And there are 5 whole calories in every container. So, like, if I decided I needed to binge on something, like, I could eat like 3 giant packages of that and fill my stomach so full. I mean, maybe I couldn't eat that much. I think the most I've ever eaten in one sitting is probably 6. But yeah, like, it will fill your stomach up, right? And make you feel like you ate, even if you're not really eating very many calories. So it's a brilliant food to have on your list. There's lots of other things that you could eat more of or eat some of that wouldn't cause trouble. Some trouble foods, though, things that are very high calories. So anything that's really high in fat. Nuts is the worst. Nuts are inflammatory, so they give you water weight gain. Plus, they are highly caloric. Like, people have asked me, why don't you eat nuts? Can you really eat like 5 freaking macadamia nuts? No, you need to eat like half a pack. You know, like, most of the time you eat nuts, even an ounce, which is a serving, it's just not enough. Once you start eating them, it triggers your body to want to eat more. And so nuts is not the best choice. If nuts is causing you to overeat, you got to get them out of the house. Other things like Lily's chocolate. I know some people really struggle limiting the chocolate. It does have high calorie, but to me, I don't need a lot of chocolate to feel a little bit better. I can eat like 8 chocolate chips and feel good. If you cannot eat just 8 chocolate chips, obviously you can't put that on your comfort food list, because it wants to be something that you're either not going to overeat or something that you can overeat safely. So write a list of those things down that you can eat if you really at wit's end, right? And always, and I mean always, have those foods on hand. Don't ever be without them. There is always sugar-free Jello in my fridge. I ran out last night and Dave left with 10 minutes before Walmart closed to go buy me some more, because he knows it must be in the house. If it is not in the house, that will be a problem. I really need to know it's there if I need it. So I keep it on hand always. Now, that's my 2 lists, okay? So when you come up against this applies to all of the reasons. When you come up to wanting to eat when you know you're not hungry, you know you don't need to, and it's going to take you outside your macros, you must make yourself do 3 things on the list of comfort activities. At least 3. If you can do those and you still feel like you just absolutely have to eat, then you can go ahead and eat something off the comfort food list. That's how I started. It's a little bit more like regimented and rule following than what I do now. And I think that's how I knew that I was finally not struggling with this, because A lot of the things I've been doing lately, I've said in the past that I would never be able to do again. And I am doing them and thinking, oh, it's really not a big deal. But then I see other people trying to do them and not succeeding. And I'm starting to like go, oh, maybe it's a me thing. I've been talking to Dave about it and he's like, I think, and I'm like, I think, could I be maybe cured? Nah. I think I might actually be cured. So that's what's made me really think and sit down and decide, like, how did I do that? So I started with the lists, okay? That's the first step. Forcing yourself to do 3 things that you don't want to do, because trust me, you will not want to do them. You will not want to go for a walk. You will not want to, call a friend. You will not want to do writing. You won't want to do them if you're feeling bad. You just have to force yourself to do them. And then if you still need food, then address that later. Okay, let's go back to the why list. Cortisol, insulin response. The best way to fix that is to decrease your stress. If stress is causing you to eat, you must decrease your stress. Obviously, the things on the comfort list will help you decrease your stress. Meditation, yoga, just taking 5 minutes to close your eyes and just breathe. That's why on the Fitbit app, it has a breathing thing, and you just sit there and you watch it and you breathe, right? Focus on inside yourself. Focus on stillness. Talk to God. Take time to decompress. If you feel stressed out all the time, you are going to feel like eating all the time, and then it's really hard to fight it off. Decreasing the stress. Another way that you can fight that whole cortisol insulin thing is by using keto, low carb, because you basically keep your blood sugar stable. If you can keep your blood sugar stable, you're much less likely to have those spikes and drops that make you crave and desire foods that are going to trigger binge eating and overeating. Because we know that when you combine carbs and fats together, you're going to overeat and it's going to trigger something in your brain and you're going to go nuts. This has not actually happened to me except for with sugar-free whipped cream. Last year, I really couldn't stop eating that. Since I started keto though, because I've really kept things level, I have not struggled with that big, huge blood glucose food thing, because I have kept on keto. The longer you can be keto and the more, the more you can keep your insulin level, the better off you're going to be, because you're going to have less stress. So if there's something that's really causing you stress in your life, you got to eliminate it. You got to face up to it and you got to eliminate it. If it's your job, maybe it's time to consider a different job. Now, obviously, that's insane in 2020. If it's just 2020, well, we just have to sometimes turn off the news and just sit and just focus on ourselves for a while and stop looking at the case counts and stop thinking about masks and stop arguing with people on Facebook like me. If that's what's causing you stress. If someone in your life is causing you stress, you need to talk to them about it and you need to work it out, or you need to eliminate that person from your life. If someone is causing you stress in your life, it's got to be dealt with. You have to deal with the stressors. If you are unable to deal with the stress itself, if it's that bad, you've got to eliminate the stressors. Let's talk about C, dieting/fasting. Like I said before, if you cannot remember a time in your life where you were not watching your weight, you need to stop doing that. If dieting and fasting is causing you to binge eat, then you have to stop doing that. Now, this is a weight loss channel, and you know how I am about tracking macros and cutting and getting the fat off your body and all of those awesome things. And I am absolutely a proponent of all of those, all of the above, because literally I needed that, right? I needed that in my life. But if you're going on major fasts and then binging on major food, that is a problem. It is not good for you. And if you are always trying to restrict your calories to the point where you cannot control them anymore and it causes you to have a binge, you have to stop doing that. So one of the ways you can stop doing that is by reversing your calories. Reverse dieting, when it comes to having a problem with over dieting, when you've dieted too much, a reverse diet is a really good way to fix your brain, right? And I think that may have been the last thing that I did that fixed me. Because last year I decided, remember, that I was just going to jump right into 2,000 calories and I was just going to eat all of the yummy keto treats I've been waiting forever to have, right? Sorry, I got to adjust. My buddy is falling asleep. I don't want to knock you guys over. Okay, here we go. So yeah, like if now I distracted myself. What was I talking about? Dieting, fasting, dieting, reverse dieting. Okay, sorry, my brain does that sometimes. So yeah, I jumped right back into eating all the keto treats because the entire time that I had been losing weight, I had told myself when I got to maintenance, I got to eat all the things. All the things that all of the high-fat ketoers were eating, all of the fat. Guess what, guys? That did not work for me. It triggered major hunger, major binge issues. I realized I did not have a set point. I kept overeating. I gained weight. I felt out of control. I felt angry with myself. I felt embarrassed. All of those bad things. Still keto. Still keto the whole time. Never, ever have I gone off keto until recently. I've never cheated ever on keto. Maybe accidentally, maybe intentionally have eaten things, but I've never cheated, had a binge because I ate something and went crazy. But I'll tell you what, the keto treats and the sugar-free whipped cream and all of those things that I started adding in order to get my calories up to 2,000, major, major triggers. I didn't understand how that worked. Now you cannot jump from, under 1,300 calories to 2,000 calories and expect to not feel like you are going to be ravenously starving. I did not know that was a thing, and it is a thing. Just so you know, it's a normal thing because when you've restricted for so long and all of a sudden you give your body food, your body's like, food. It's the same thing like with electrolytes. If you're doing keto without supplementing your sodium and then you start supplementing sodium, you are going to retain water because your body has been starved of sodium, and you give it some and it thinks it's never going to see it again. So it hangs on for dear life. Same thing with food if you have been calorie restricting. And so as you go back into out of dieting, number one, you have to expect you're going to be hungry. I will tell you it's miserable. And number two, you have to expect that you're going to have some gain of weight, and you have to be okay with that, and that's fine. You know what? We cannot stay our ideal weight all the time, forever and ever, especially if you are very, very thin. You can't do it. And trying to focus on doing that is actually another way of disordered eating. There is another disorder that I didn't even know about called orthorexia. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. I've talked about it a little bit. But orthorexia is where you can't stop losing weight because you're addicted to losing weight. You're addicted to people telling you you look too skinny. You're addicted to being too skinny. It's literally like anorexia, only you used to be obese. All of those things are a problem when we're trying to lose weight, and we have to find ways to avoid those. We have to find ways to, not do that. So if you have dieted your metabolism to death, you have to take a long break. And if that means gaining 20 pounds, that's what it means. And that's okay. But basically, this reverse dieting, the people use it in order to bulk. So if you look up reverse dieting, you're not going to find a lot of stuff like what I'm talking about. You're going to find bodybuilders who've had a major cut for some kind of show, and then now they're going into a bulking phase, and they jump right to their known maintenance calories, and then they're raising up maintenance calories. They're trying to eke up their maintenance. That isn't what we're doing here. We're just trying to get to maintenance. We're just trying to get our heads out of the dieting space. But it is a way to trick your brain into thinking that it's getting what it wants without going no holds barred and going out of control with a binge. So it's kind of a controlled calorie raise. And that's what's really, really been the last thing I think that's finally fixed me. I was only really super hungry and gained the weight really, really fast when I was raising that first couple hundred calories. And if I could have panicked, and said, oh my gosh, I gained 9 pounds and I'm barely to 1,500 calories. This is ridiculous. Obviously, I'm screwed. I can't do this. Going back to dieting. I didn't do that because I knew that was going to happen. Because I studied about reverse dieting and I knew that my body would overreact and I knew that I would be hungry and I knew it would be hard and I just kept going anyway. So reverse dieting is a way to get your calories up slowly, like the frog in the cold water. As you slowly turn up the heat, you just get your body used to the idea of eating more food slowly. Now, what's the weird thing that happened to me is that as I've gone up in calories, my body has relaxed, taken a chill pill, and now it's losing weight again. Only now I'm losing weight at like over 1,700 calories. What? Holy crap. That is a thing? I had no idea. So that's another benefit, is that as you raise your metabolism up slowly and get your body slowly used to the idea, you're still probably going to lose some weight to some degree. You may have an initial water weight gain, but that does not mean that it's body fat. It could be body fat. It could be. Expect some. Expect some. Remember that you're trying to heal your body and heal your disordered eating. And that right now, the 20 pounds you're going to gain is not an issue. It's not a problem. It's fine. It's fine. Accept it. Embrace it. It's fine. Okay? You have to get yourself out of that headspace of always needing to be thin or always trying to be thin or always on a cut. You cannot do that. You're killing yourself. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. You have to find a place where your body feels like it has what it needs and it doesn't feel like you are constantly depriving it of what it needs. And if you've been dieting forever, you don't know how much it needs. So that's why you do it slow. And you can do it even more slowly than me. You can add 10 calories a week. You can add 35 calories a week. I did 50 just because it was the easy number to keep track. But I've overshot it. I've undershot it. Like it hasn't been exact. But that's another thing, is unless you're tracking, it's really hard to do that. If you're a chronic dieter, you're probably already tracking. And if tracking is your issue, then maybe you should stop tracking for a little while too. And just try and eat the way that you are used to eating without tracking it and see what happens. Tracking hopefully won't be a trigger for most people if they do it right. If you're tracking to obsessively diet, do it like I did and track to obsessively raise your calories. That is a way to connect the tracking to a more positive thing and to make you feel in control of it as you're dealing with the hunger issues. And because ghrelin, the hunger hormone, it will come out as soon as you start adding any bit of more food, and you're going to be like, I need all the food. So you have to say, okay, I can't do all the food because I really need to track this, right? And that's what's really helped me in this last bit. Okay, the very last one is probably the easiest one to fix, but it's also really beneficial. And I've kind of touched on it a little bit, but it's habit. How much of your disordered eating is just habit? How much started when you were a kid? How much started when you felt bad because someone called you Tubs and you're like, well, if I'm Tubs, I'm eating all the tub ice cream, Like, you have probably spent years having this same thing happen over and over, right? So you got to figure out a way to stop the thing. Okay? So that is one of the biggest ones, I think, that helped me that I didn't really realize I was doing. So in other videos, I've talked about how when I first started keto, I would go to the grocery store and I would look at the foods that I wanted to eat and I would say, I choose not to eat that. And I would walk on past, right? I would practice saying no, choosing something different. And that was one of the first things that I did to change the way my brain was ordered, change the way it thought about things. So it can be as gross as you imagine your favorite food and then you imagine something disgusting in it. That's not my go-to because ew. But when you associate the food you really love and you can't control with something yucky or a yucky feeling or how you feel crap by eating it, anything like that, where you can make a negative association with that food itself. Just for example, if you've ever been pregnant and you ate something you love, I remember I ate Chick-fil-A fried sandwich, just the regular one, when I was pregnant once, and literally made me barf forever. And I still struggle. Well, I wouldn't eat it now, but before keto, I still would struggle with Chick-fil-A sandwich. If I would make myself eat it, I would realize it tastes good. But the thought of eating a Chick-fil-A sandwich would trigger that barf instinct, and I didn't want to eat it. So if you can connect the thing that's the problem to something negative, it can help. I don't like to focus on the negative. So for me, I prefer things like stoppers, things that stop you from eating, things that stop you from thinking about those foods. So for example, say I tracked my food for the day. I made my first meal. I ate my first meal. This happens to me a lot. And it's also a reason why I use the Jell-O, because I know it's going to happen. It's also my new habit to use the Jell-O to be a stopper. So basically, I tracked all the food that I'm going to have for my first meal, but I know that I'm going to get to the end of that meal, no matter how satisfying it was, and I'm still going to feel like I needed to eat more food. I always want to overeat still. Even with all these calories, I still want to overeat. And so then I have the Jell-O at the end, because it's like eating a dessert, and it overfills me, because I'm kind of still addicted to that overfull feeling. I'm trying to work on that, but it's a stopper. It stops me from eating. It's like the thing I eat last, and then my body goes, oh yeah, we're done. Other stoppers you can use are things that make your taste change. So for example, gum, sugar-free gum. So you have a sugar-free gum stick sitting next to your plate. You eat exactly what you planned to eat, and boom, gum, the second you're done. The minty flavor in your mouth will discourage you from wanting to eat anything else, because it changes the flavor of food. There's lots of like disruptor type things that people have created. There's pills you can swallow that make it so sugar things taste disgusting, or that limit like your ability to taste sugar. Obviously, like that's not the best thing in the world, because like some things that are sweet are fine to eat on keto. But if sweet's your trigger, it might work for you. Anything that breaks up your habit, you can use. So, for example, somebody calls you up and tells you something really, really stressful, and you immediately go, I'm needing food. You have to have something that stops that before you walk to the fridge and get it, right? So it can be literally anything. If a food thought comes in, spin in a circle. If a food thought comes in, jog in place. If a food thought comes in, walk out of the kitchen, walk outside, breathe. If a food thought comes in, get on your phone, play Candy Crush, walk away. Right? It has to be something that you can do easily, that you can remember what you're going to do, and that's an immediate thing. And it puts an immediate kibosh, stop on the thought. I didn't even know I was doing this, because I have to do it a lot. Guys, I have so many trigger foods in my house. If you do not have to have trigger foods in your house, don't have them. If you find yourself not able to handle heavy cream, stop buying it, like I did for a full year. Guess what, guys? I can eat it now. No binge. No triggering. I literally measure out 24 grams and eat it. No problem. What? How is this a thing? I don't know. I stopped buying it and focused on fixing things, and then I put it back into my diet to see if I could do it. I tested it, and now I can do it. So that's the thing. Once you have spent enough time breaking up the habit, stopping yourself over and over and over, then you can test it and see if you're capable of doing it, which is what I've done with carbs too. As you can see, I've added carbs back in my diet. I thought for sure eating a potato, I literally was so afraid of that potato. I've never been so afraid in so long to put that bite of potato in my mouth. I had convinced myself that potato was glue, that glue would kill me, that it would gum up my body. I had all these pictures that I'd created, I didn't even know I had, to averse myself to potato, because I love potatoes so much. And when I ate the potato, I was just like, like, I take it or leave it, the potato. Who cares? I didn't care anymore. I had spent so many years convincing myself potatoes weren't all that when I ate a potato, it wasn't all that. So it's habit forming, habit changing your habit. All of that binge eating cycle is a lot of it habit. So you restrict, right? And then you're like, well, I've been so good. I'm just going to have one blah, blah, blah. One blah, blah, blah triggers the ding. And you're like, no, I need all of the blah, blah, blahs. I need them. I need them. I need them. Eat, and stop. Can't stop. eating more, grabbing more, have to have everything. This is my one chance to eat. I'm not going to eat the next meal, so I'm going to eat everything. And it just goes out of control. And then what happens? You're so dumb. Why'd you do that? You're so stupid. Why can't you ever stop that? You're lame. You're going to be fat forever. You suck. Right? And what does that do? Trigger another binge. And then it just goes in a cycle, in a cycle, in a cycle. So another one we have to stop doing is that. Stop beating yourself up. Don't do it. Stop it. Don't do it. Break it up. The second you say to yourself, well, that was stupid. You're so dumb. Immediately, something else. You decide what that something else is. Immediately, I kind of do that to the point, I still do it. I still negative. I mean, obviously I can pull things right out of the hat, right? You're going to do it, but it's stopping yourself from doing it. That's important. So just go do something else. Do something else. Nope, not doing that. Nope. Stop doing that. You are a beloved, beautiful goddess, woman, man, whatever you are, circle, if you're Greg Doucette, whatever you are worthy. You are beautiful. You are amazing. You are perfect. There is nothing wrong with you. So you had a rough night. So you did something that maybe you're not proud of. That's a thing. It is not you. That's a choice. It is not you. Turn it into a choice. Turn it into a, oh darn. Turn it into a, it doesn't really matter. Whatever you have to do to break it up and start again. You know, if you're really worried about staying on keto, then just make your next meal keto. Obviously, I'm to the point now where keto is not the only thing I'm thinking about. I'm trying to heal other things now because I feel like I've gotten a handle on it. But it has taken years and years and years of stopping the habits. Stopping. Of looking in the cupboards and seeing the cereal that I really want to eat and going, nope, not today, friends. Of seeing my kids' Halloween candy and going, nope, not today. Maybe later, not today. And just practicing going, like I said, going to the grocery store and literally looking at the thing I want and saying, yeah, not today. And just doing that over and over and over and over and over till literally you don't think about it anymore and you don't even realize it, but you don't want it anymore. I have literally no desire to eat my kids' Halloween candy. I got keto candy that's just as good. I have no desire anymore to eat. For example, I bought Quest Quest peanut butter cups, and I was telling everybody about them, and then I see people struggling with them and eating them all, and I'm like, what? Like, I literally have freaking protein cup, peanut butter cups. I call them protein cups because they have protein. Peanut butter cups sitting in the top of my fridge. I literally see them every single day, like every single day, and I never even think about eating them because they weren't written down in my chronometer today. What? And I didn't even realize that was happening until I saw people struggling with them. And I thought, oh, I got to be careful what I talk about because people are going to eat all the Built bars, like literally all of them. Don't eat all of them, guys. One. If you can't eat just one, don't eat the Built bars. If you can't eat just one pack of anything, don't eat it. Don't buy it. Don't have it until you test and you're able to eat just one. So that is the most important one because it affects everything. You can have your list of things, but unless you stop it and make yourself do it, or stop it and do something else, it's not going to help. Another one I forgot to mention during the cortisol stress one is don't forget to take your vitamin D. It is not sunshine time anymore, guys. We can't just go out inside and bask in the sun like I did all summer in my swimming pool. You've got to take extra vitamin D to help your body cope with the winter. So if you're not already taking it, get a good vitamin D3. I mean, I'm not going to tell you a good brand because I can't think of one off the top. They're probably all fine. The way you want to supplement is up to you, but I highly recommend supplementing with some kind of vitamin D3. There's also other things you can do. If you have depression, take depression medication if you need it. I have decided I want to keep self-medicating other ways. Not with food. We're not doing the food thing anymore. That was what I used. My brother uses alcohol and he is 3 years sober now. You know, like If you have anxiety and depression, you should probably deal with it. You should probably go talk to somebody professional. I have never done that. Can't find it in my budget, but I'm healing myself on my own, and you can do it that way too. But if you're really struggling, probably seeing someone and talking to someone is going to be a good idea. I think that's all of them. Let me double check my list and make sure I didn't forget anything. I talked about not having offending foods in the house if they're triggering you. Oh, tracking in advance. So that's one thing that's really helping me in the reverse, especially because my calories are changing a lot. And so I can't just eat what I know will fit in my macros like I do when I'm in a cut. I really get to a point where I can just eat and I know I'm eating the exact right amounts when I'm in a cut because I eat the same thing for so long. I know how to do it. So tracking the night before with this diet reverse is really helping me. And it's helping me to see what it looks like in the tracker. And I can take realizing how much calories are in things, because if I could take off like 2 grams of spray whipped cream, I can add like a whole bunch more protein into my macros. And it's good to see that. And it helps you feel in control. Keto can also help you feel in control because it limits those spikes. Let's see. I think that's the main one I missed to do. Yeah, just getting outside. We talked about that. Yeah, I think that's it. So yeah, I think it's just a matter of time. If you really focus on it and make it your New Year's resolution or whatever to break the habits that you're struggling with, find the triggers and plan ways to stop doing those things. Because really, a lot of it is just habit. Make new habits, find new comfort foods. I was just watching Keto Rewind, and she was talking about how, like, during her house reno, they had to do a lot of fast food, and she thought, well, I've lost all this weight, I can handle it. And it triggered major binging, and she was literally eating everything in sight for like 3 weeks. She said the reason she had so much trouble is because it just didn't taste good anymore. Like, she remembered that dopamine rush, but apparently she's gotten out of the habit of that so much that the food, she had to eat lots and lots and lots of it, and it didn't really do it for her anymore. And that's kind of how I feel about the carbs too. It's like I really thought it was going to trigger me to eat a lot of it because, I expected it to be really yummy, but it wasn't that yummy. And so it was kind of like, okay, I can eat one of those, no problem. It's not that awesome. And so that's how I know that I changed my habits a lot. And I wanted to tell that to her. I don't know if she ever watches my channel. I'm like, I can't believe how many subscribers she has. Like, I just like want her to like mentor me on how to get subscribers, because I've been doing this for a freaking long time. And everybody else has like so many more subscribers that started way after than me. And I just don't know what I'm doing wrong. But yeah, so if you have any ideas, message me. Yeah, anyway, so I wanted to tell her, I'm like, this is a good thing. Now, I know you were binging and you were eating a lot of things and you gained some weight back, but it's actually a good thing that you ate those foods and they didn't give you that dopamine rush, that feeling that you thought you were going to get out of them. That's actually a good thing. You realized, oh, it's not all that. And you're able to go back to being on track. That's a sign that she actually has broken her habit. I don't even know if she realizes that. It's a positive sign that she doesn't need that stuff anymore. She has new things that make her happy, right? And so that's really, really awesome. Oh my gosh, I have talked about this longer than I expected. So, and I say I have a super chat, so I'm going to go ahead and keep talking, even though this video is extraordinarily long. How was it that long? Did I really talk for 52 minutes? Holy cow, you guys. Tell me to like calm down. And I don't even know if it was, you should watch my last video too. Go back if you really want to talk about this subject. Go back and watch my last video, because I watched it last night and it made me cry. I was like, girl, you know your stuff. That's a beautiful video. Like, everyone needs to watch this. And it's similar stuff, but I said it in a better way. I feel like I'm not saying it in a good way this time. I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to find my super chat and then I am going to answer questions. There it is. There it is. There it is. Sunshine Cleveland. She says, here's a little something because you're awesome. Treat yourself to something for you. Ooh, what shall I do? Maybe I'll get some more bath bombs. I don't know. What will I do? Thanks, Sunshine. I'm totally going to do that. I will. I'm going to do that today. As soon as we're done, I'm getting on Amazon and buying myself something for $20 just for me. I love that. Thank you. All right, I'm going to go back up to the top and see what I missed. Okay, here's where we were. Joanne is also from Canada, from Ottawa. That is so cool. Debbie Lyman is here. Hello. Kesara Sarah is here. Good to see you, girl. She's been keeping me on my Fitbit. Val is here. Tammy McDonald, my twinnie, is here. Awesome. Shelly's keto weight loss journey says, I loved Kurt Cameron too. I feel so old, right? We are old. I don't look old, except for my loose skin. Oh, it's 54 minutes in. And we only have 66 people here. Can I tell you a secret? I totally filmed my loose skin video yesterday. An update. And there were things about it that made me so freaking happy. And there were things about it that made me really, really not happy. And it's probably going to be controversial. So I'm giving you guys a sneak peek. And I will give it to my Patrons first because I have 4 stalwart Patreons who are still there paying every month and like haven't dropped like flies. And so I'm giving it to them first because they haven't had anything all month. They haven't had a special video all month because I haven't done one. Okay. Oh, Lizzie's F87. That's Elizabeth from the Facebook group. She just added me as a friend on Fitbit, and she's freaking like 15,000 average steps. Please don't challenge me to a competition. No. No. I hate it. All's well from India. Where from India are you if you're still here, All's well? I'm so curious. I actually adopted my daughter from India, and we were able to visit Calcutta and the coast off Cuttack. And let's see, we also went to the Taj Mahal and saw the Red Fort and all of that in Delhi, New Delhi. Awesome. Agra and New Delhi. All right. Lisa Sum says I organized it okay. Thanks. I appreciate it. Good morning, Carly's mama. Welcome. Silva Star is here. Welcome. Silva Star, were you here for that first video? I think you might have been. I'm not sure. April Wooten, welcome. Nona Grace, hello. Jessica Nitro Wife is here. Welcome. Okay, Shelly's keto weight loss journey brought up a good point. Fasting helps me keep my appetite under control to show myself I'm not really hungry. And if that is what fasting is doing for you, then that is great. Anything that gives you control and makes you feel in control and not out of control helps you to put those habit breakers in place. Anytime you feel out of control is when you're going to make a choice that's not the best thing for yourself, right? And that was part of the problem with me with carb eating is I couldn't eat just a gummy bear or even an ounce of gummy bears. I had to eat a 5-pound bag of gummy bears in less than 3 days. I couldn't stop eating them. I would just literally eat them by handfuls. And Dave and I were talking, and I was basically saying, yeah, I think gummy bears are probably the single only thing at this point that if I ate one, I would probably trigger a binge. I don't think it would be like that if I chose to eat like pumpkin pie on Thanksgiving. I don't think that's going to trigger a binge, though I don't know if I'm quite ready to eat any actual sugar or flour. I think I'm allergic to wheat. I think that's a big one, so I probably won't ever do anything with gluten. But you never know. You never know. I'm going to be testing myself as I go through this process to see if I'm able. See if I'm able to eat one thing. If I'm not and it triggers me, immediately I will go back to keto or whatever my plan is. I will make a plan. Always make a plan if you can. That helps you stay in control. But if fasting keeps you in control, that's great. The thing is, that is the controversial thing I'm going to be talking about on my loose skin video. Just foreshadowing it for you. I'm not going to be doing that anymore. Yeah. All right. So Carolee's mama says she's been a chronic dieter until the freedom of keto low carb. Yes. If anything that's giving you freedom and control is going to be the answer. For me, it was also keto. Gosh, I never actually was able to manage a deficit. That was my main problem, is that I would try and diet and I would quit 2 weeks in because it was too hard. Like it couldn't do it. So I think that that's been the main blessing with keto, is that actually it allowed me to do a calorie deficit for the first time for long enough to actually lose weight. But if you've been in a calorie deficit for long enough and you weren't super obese, you're just like under 200 pounds and you're trying to do it forever, probably your metabolism is caught up to you. And the only way to do it is to be abysmally low in calories, which if you're a binge eater is going to trigger you. So the best thing to do is to try and heal your metabolism, get those calories up so that you can diet on a higher level of calories. So your body doesn't feel and your brain doesn't feel like you're so restricted. Anything that helps give you control, it's going to help you. All right. Lisa Sums says she's done similar situations. Weight Watchers, cabbage diet, cottage cheese diet, veggies only, starvation. Except side and protein only. Weight Watchers again, Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers again. Exactly. So here's the thing, Lisa. If you haven't spent a long enough time having high calories, then maybe you should focus on getting your calories to around 2,000 and keeping them there for a while until your body gets used to the idea. And then you can drop them. And then don't drop them so far. You don't have to go to the bargain basement, guys. Don't just jump to the bargain basement like we talked about last week unless you are in physical danger of your weight killing you, like I was. Then bargain basement is your friend because you got to get that weight off. If you're under 200 pounds, there's no reason to go into the bargain basement. Mess with it. Be scientific about it like I have been. Do the reverse. Push your calories up and then stay there for a long, long time. And then once you've stayed there for long enough, you'll just know. Like for me, it was about 9 months when I started going, yeah, I'm just not happy anymore. I really, really want to go back on a cut. And then I went bargain basement again because that's what I liked to do. That was easy because that's what I knew how to do. I don't know if I'll do that again. We'll see. We might not, because if I get a handle on this and I just drop it a couple of hundred calories and just, or stay at 1,700 for a long time, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you can get those calories up higher, it makes dieting easier and you can lose weight on higher calories because your metabolism will be higher. Hey, Life Adventures in Keto, go check her channel out. Michelle is awesome. She is really, really fun. And she struggles with a lot of similar things. So go join her channel if you have not already. Her favorite bang is radical skedaddle. I saw you drink the key lime and I was watching you like, oh, is she going to like it? And then she was just like underwhelmed. And I was like, what? But it's key lime. I love citrus though. If I get a bath bomb, it's usually citrus. If I get a wax melt, it's often citrus. If I get a drink, it's often citrus. So citrus is obviously one of my favorite things. I like a lemon in my yogurt. I really am bummed that Built Bar doesn't make a plain lemon. And I really wish like the Quest lemon bars were more tart. They aren't tart enough. They're too sweet. I just love lemon. All right. Shelly's keto weight loss journey says she was in 5th grade drinking Slim Fast. Yeah. So like I don't allow my kids to diet. We talk about it a lot actually because I know that my kids are concerned about their weight because some of them are a little bit on the chubby side. But we have talked about it ad nauseum, that they aren't allowed to diet until they are at their full grown height, and they're only allowed to do it with me as supervising because now I know a lot of stuff to help them, right? And so I don't want them doing that until they are minimum 16 years old and only to do it the healthy way, which is just to get control, find your beautiful little calories, the highest possible, track it, stick to it, and then find your normal and stay there. Now, that's harder. That's easier said than done. And so hopefully they will listen to me in the future. But yeah, they're not allowed to diet. And I also talk to them a lot about how our bodies grow out before they grow up, because I think that's something we forget to tell kids. And so they see that they have a belly and they think there's something wrong with them. And when we tell them that's normal and it's totally what they're supposed to be doing so that their body can have room to grow, they go, oh, that makes sense. Because like if you grow really tall and you didn't have that extra skin, you're going to get stretch marks. But you get a little chubbier, you don't get stretch marks from that. And then when you go taller, you just thin out and you don't get stretch marks. And so like we talk about that a lot at my house because I have a lot of little girls right now. All right, let's see. Hey, Lynn Anderson, welcome. Oh my gosh, I never do the cabbage soup diet. You guys are making me feel so sorry for you. Lisa Summerfield says the $7 bath bomb is like a big bag of junk food anyway, so go for it, right? Yeah, exactly. Like that's invest in yourself. That's when I was going to go into a little bit more. Invest in yourself. So you're more likely to go and exercise if you've paid for a gym membership. You're more likely to stick to a weight loss program. I think that's a lot of why people hire me, and probably why I should maybe do some more paid things. Because I think if people invest in it more, they're going to be more apt to stick to it and to find their control zone, right? And so Like, I think that's a lot of the reason people hire me, like, for a coach. I don't think they really know. They all know their stuff, but they want that accountability of having forked out the cashola. And it makes sense. It makes sense. It is a really good way to keep yourself focused when you realize money is involved. So yeah, like if you're spending money on self-care, aren't you more likely to do it? Which, that is like huge. I have been enjoying watching Melanie from Princess Ninja and Keto. She bought herself a gym membership, but she's going there for a massage. Right? That is brilliant. That's like the smartest thing I've seen in a long time. She goes to get on the hydro table and feel massaged and relax because she knows she's stress eating. Dude, that's like brilliant. We should all do that. Go freaking buy a gym membership just so you can use the massage table. That's genius right there. Genius. So yes, definitely. Oh my gosh, Boris and Carolee's mom are saying disorganized notes are a sign of genius. I love you guys. Yeah, it's a sign of something. I don't know about genius. I'm definitely an artist. Yeah. All right, let's see. S says it took me 37 years to finally discover my emotional eating stemmed from childhood trauma and emotional neglect. Yes, find the root too. Like if you have something like that you really need to work on it. You gotta have your Atreyu moment. You gotta have your come up to the mirror and see yourself for who you really are and see what things caused your problems and deal with them. And I've really dealt with a lot of mine. I have small ones. I never really had super huge big ones when I was a kid. My parents weren't super neglectful. My dad was emotionally abusive. I basically have filleted my father bare recently because he keeps doing it to me, and I'm 45 years old. And you know what? For the first time ever, he didn't fight back and he actually apologized. And we actually, at my son's sealing, I don't know if you guys remember me talking about my son and his wife were sealed for a time in all eternity in the temple. It's a thing that we as Church of Jesus Christ of LD or Latter-day Saints, I don't want to shorten it for you guys. You don't know. Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Why do we have such a freaking long name? It's so long. But that's what we do when we get married. We get sealed in the temple. And my dad came and he hugged me and he cried in my shoulder and just cried and said he was sorry. It was awesome. It was really good. And when my dad is like that, which he has been like that a lot, and it reminded me, my dad is not always messing up. My dad is just a human being and he tries. But in those moments, I love him so much. And it's easy for me to love him. We're all just humans. We're all just humans. We're all just trying our best. And we're gonna screw up, and it's okay. That doesn't mean that we're bad people. It just means we did something dumb, and it's a thing that we did, not who we are, right? And that's huge. That's huge. When we face up to those traumas that cause us problems and we address them, we do what we need to do to work through them, and we're able to finally get on the other side of that and find ways to break up those habits, those disordered eating habits. That's when we're going to succeed at this. That's when we're finally going to get to a place where we can just feel like we can live without having to be hyper-focused on it all the time, right? We need to be able to live without thinking about calories constantly. Someday I hope that I will be there. I'm getting so much closer. I have noticed that now it's easier for me to track because now I know more of what things have in them that aren't diet food. So I know like how much fat is in things, and I know how much carbs is in things, and I know which carbs are going to be the right carbs to fit into my macros now. And just the more I do it, the easier it is for me to do it without thinking about it, and to the point where when I finally find my calorie level where I want to stay and I see what I'm eating for a few weeks and it becomes more habit, then I will probably stop tracking it at that point and see if I can just keep my weight under control that way, just by eating what I'm used to eating, by changing my habits and changing what I'm used to eating. I think the reason I'm being so meticulous right now is because I'm in the change zone, and I really needed to make sure that I stay hyper focused on making myself change. I know that's lame, but it just shifts your hyper focus to something else. If you're a hyper focuser, like I am, I sometimes wonder if I have some sort of ADD that wasn't diagnosed, because I have a lot of symptoms of that. A lot of disordered thoughts, a lot of forgetfulness, things like that really make me think about that, drinking caffeine, and it calms me down. Like, I don't know, talking a lot, my superpower. Yeah. So sometimes I really wonder about that. All right, let's see. Oh, Michelle, you actually had a weight loss without stopping drinking Bang. That makes me so happy. I tell you guys, a lot of you guys get hyper focused on foods causing your water weight gain. Guys, it just happens and it's just coincidence. At least for me, it's coincidence. I could have blamed it on Bang a long time ago and stopped drinking them, but I didn't. I just kept drinking them and then the weight loss went down. Thanks for reminding me to drink it, because if you wait too long and it doesn't cold anymore, then it's no fun. You can put it back in the fridge and then it doesn't have the zing anymore. I love the zing. All right, let's see. Yeah, Shelly's keto journey says your mom tried everything to help you. A 3-day peanut butter diet. You were a 3-sport athlete and now you're 40 and have lost so much more info. You've lost 126 pounds. That's awesome. Yeah, a lot of kids who are into sports. I was just watching Jordan Syatt's video on how he stopped binge eating, which, by the way, he doesn't ever actually explain how he stopped binge eating. He just talks about how he was a binge eater and how he stopped binge eating. But it never really goes into detail about how he stopped binge eating. But that was what caused it. It was making weight for weight loss. I mean, not weight loss, wrestling when he was little. And he would like spit into a jar and he would like run up and down stairs with a plastic bag on him to make himself sweat to get rid of all the water. Oh my gosh, like the stuff I'm like, that is just not good. We need to stop doing that to kids. Why is wrestling a sport for kids if that's what it requires? That should not be something kids ever do. It's just crazy. All right. Key Love says, I'm in this situation now. I keep falling off the wagon. I can't stay on. I cut out all sweeteners, even keto, but still fall off. Okay. Then you need to figure out what is the trigger. So keto isn't always the answer, and you don't have to be keto in order to get control over your disordered eating. Keto helped me because it disrupted what I was doing. It stopped me from eating the donuts and give me a second to like go, oh, I need to do something else. You have to figure out what's the trigger and you have to stop that trigger. So if it's a certain food, you cannot buy that food. If it's a certain time of day, you need to find something else to do. If it's a certain place you sit in the house that causes you to start thinking about food, you got to stop sitting there. Every time you start thinking about eating, you need to get up and do something else. Chew a piece of gum, go for a walk, break the cycle. Stop doing whatever you're doing. You can even stand in the middle of the room and say, stop! Whatever it is that you can remember to do, you have to do it often enough to break the cycle. And don't beat yourself up. Stop beating yourself up. Okay? Every time you fall off the wagon, don't call it falling off the wagon. Saying, I chose to eat off plan. Oh, darn, I chose to eat off plan. Well, I'm just going to go right back on plan. Right? Every time you just go, I chose to eat off plan today. Or do it before you do it. Make it a choice before you do it. Track it. Say, today, I know I'm going to be having a hard day today. So I'm going to choose, today I'm going to eat off plan. This is what I'm going to eat. I'm putting it in my tracker. I'm going to own it. And tomorrow I'm going to be back on plan. It's okay. You don't have to be in ketosis to be successful. You just have to be in control. Whatever helps you find a way to be in control and to stop letting the food dictate what you do, that's what works. So you have to keep trying different things until you figure out what works. That's why my lists are helpful, because when I feel like I'm stressed out or sad and I want to do something, I have to force myself to do 3 things off the list. Did I call a friend? Did I make a YouTube video? Did I go for a walk? Did I play Candy Crush on my phone and walk around in circles? Did I say stop? Did I cry? Did I jump? Did I whatever? Like what did I do? If I didn't do it, I can't eat yet. Just say, okay, I will eat that as soon as I finish blah, 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 and break it up. Don't let yourself go right into the eating. When you open the fridge or the cupboard, say stop. Do it every time you open the fridge or the cupboard so that when you're struggling. So for example, 10 times a day, every time you walk past the fridge, open it up, look at that food, and just say, no, please no. Not today, ice cream. Just keep doing it. It sounds dumb, but it's just like going through the grocery store. Or you just can't have it in the house. If you really can't control it, you just cannot have it in the house forever and ever. Like, just don't have it in the house. I remember I used to coach people that had triggers with sugar and flour. And then their family would bring it in the house, but they wouldn't make their family take it with them and then would leave it. No, no, no. If you know that's going to be a trigger, you make the family take, you pack it up, you put it in their car. You do not let it stay. Do not let it stay. Right? Change it. Do you guys know that song? Is that a LDS song, a Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day-Saints song? If you chance to meet a frown, do not let it stay. Quickly turn it upside down and smile that frown away. It's the same exact thing. We teach it to our little kids, but it's changing that thought. Do something that makes it stop and do something else. And you do it enough times, it breaks that habit. I'm telling you, that is the key right there. That is the number one thing that's helped me. Number one. All these other things are great and they're important. But the number one thing that's helped me is changing that disordered thought and stopping it and practicing doing it when I don't have the thought. So like every time you walk past the cupboard, you look at the breakfast cereal and you go, it's not good. I don't want that. And pick something else instead or don't have anything, So I hope that helps. I don't know if it's helping, but it's what I do. So I don't know. I'm only can help you with what I do. All right. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, Lisa says, I never feel full even eating 2 pounds of food. Yeah, that's kind of me too, which is why I said I was a binge eater, because I could just keep eating, but I didn't find myself being secretive, so I don't really think that's truly an issue. I just eat a lot. I like to eat a lot. That's been my main issue with the whole finding my maintenance is I want to eat more. I still want to eat more. I'm at like 1750 a day this week, and I still want more. So yeah, I just have, that's why I use those Jellos. It's my stopper. I have to have it. I have it almost every single meal. Even if I don't remember to film it, I almost always will go and get some if I didn't bring it in and film it in my meal. Almost always. And I don't really track that. So that, because I've eaten that for so long, I don't really track the Jellos into my calories. I just know. So technically, I think I'm eating probably another 30 to 45, depending on if I do it 3 times a day. I don't always do it 3 times a day. It's at least 2 times a day. An extra 30 calories on top of what I'm tracking. But I know that I'm doing that. And so that's why I don't track it, because I just don't. I don't know. I just never really have. And so I just didn't. So I guess technically my calories are 1780. Still. Yeah, the chocolate for some reason is easy to portion control for me too. The Lily's chocolates. I just don't find them to be that awesome. I don't know. I have whole bunches of Lily's chocolate chips in my fridge. Guys, I have every flavor they make except pumpkin because I can't find it. Oh, you know what? I don't have white because I'm not a white chocolate fan. So I have 2 packages of dark baking chips, a caramel, and a mint in my refrigerator right now. And 3 of those packs are open. I've had them in there for over a month. I've eaten a tiny amount of them. I don't know how I do that, but it's not in my macros. I didn't put it in my tracker. If I didn't put it in my tracker, it's not going in the face. Oh, I'm hungry, by the way. Why am I hungry? I think it's because my body is now converting over to glucose, glycogen more, and I get hungrier in the morning than I used to. But then I put everything off, and then I don't eat in the morning. And I want to eat in the morning, but I don't eat in the morning. Karen says, I like the phrase in remission rather than cured because I backslide far too easily. Yes, I would usually say that, except for I think recently I'm feeling less like that would ever happen. But I mean, you never know. You never know. I mean, if I have survived 2020 and I've lost weight, that's like a freaking miracle, right, guys? Isn't that a miracle? Who does that? Apparently this girl. And you know why? Because it gives me control. And when I feel like I'm out of control in my life, doing what I know I have control over, which was the keto cut, I know how to do it. I've done it. It's easy. And I know I don't have to do it forever. Yeah, you really shouldn't cut that low for more than 13 weeks, 12 weeks, 3 months should be your limit if you ever do it. And you should try to do it as rarely as possible. I'd really like to not do it again, but I'm feeling like my daughter is probably going to get married this next year, and I might feel motivated to do it again for that. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I look pretty dang good now. I don't need to worry about that. Yeah. Yes, I know there's a blood test to test my cortisol levels. I actually did that last year. I actually am an affiliate for Let's Get Checked. And it's not in my description, but if you search ketochaos, Let's Get Checked, I bet my code is still good. But yeah, I did that last year with the at-home test, and mine were normal. I deal with stress really well. I've had a lot of stress tests. My body reacts to stress really well. I've really never been a high stress person. I grind my teeth a lot, but you can see it's because even after braces, look, my tongue sticks out the side. It drives me nuts. But they don't line up. You see that? My teeth don't line up right, and I think it's more that than causes me to grit my teeth. And so I'm trying to break up that. I'm trying to break up that habit. Every time I find myself clenching my jaw, I'm going like this. But even that, it's hard to rest my teeth now that these teeth are forward now. Like my teeth just don't have any comfortable place to sit. So it's actually worse since I did my braces. And I actually did the braces to fix that. It's made it worse. So that sucks. I mean, I love my straight teeth other than the tongue sticking outside. Weird. Weird the things you notice. But you know what? I would still rather have the straight teeth, just like I'd rather have my giant bags upon bags of garbage bag plastic looking loose skin rather than all of those pounds and pounds and pounds of fat that I have lost off my body. Right? Right. Okay. Lizzie F87 says when she tries to do the breathing thing on Fitbit, her heart rate goes up because of stress out trying to follow the circle. And don't do it then. Don't do it. Yeah, that's so funny. Wrap yourself in a warm blanket, warm from the dryer, write an old-fashioned letter, even if you don't mail it, light candles, search for travel plans. Those are good ones, Lisa. I love that. Oh, Jelly Fat to Keto is here. You guys go check out her channel too. She has lost as much as me. We are neck and neck on the weight loss. Fat to Keto, spelled F-A-T number 2, keto. And she says she lives in 24/7 stress, but it's her family, so she just got to deal. Yeah, and you found other ways to deal with it, obviously, Jelly, because you're not binge eating all the time. So, like, we have to find ways to deal with it. If it's family, it's family. Like, family, blah. Right? So much stress. One nice thing about COVID is I haven't had to really like face my family as often. And some of that is sad because some of my family I really, 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 really miss. And then some, it's been nice to take a break. So I really miss my sister and my mom a lot. Don't cry. I'm okay. It's fine. We're not having Thanksgiving together and it's fine. Right? It doesn't matter. It's fine. We'll see each other next year. Okay. Carly's mama says we're in recovery always. I've always had my food addiction turn into other addictions. Yes, so don't do that either. And I've realized to do some of Tammy's great recommendations to deal with emotions. Yes, don't make your addiction change to something else. Just disrupt it. Don't let it be there anymore. Don't let it be an addiction. Unless it's an addiction to like running or something like that, that's going to help your heart. Go for that. If you are the main cause of your stress, Liz, then you gotta work on it. You gotta Atreyu moment yourself, man. Stand in front of that mirror and see it and face it down. Find a plan to get it out of your life. Gotta fix it. Tracking and planning helped me with my obsession with food. That's what Lisa's mom says. Or did it keep going? I don't know. Like, tracking just really has helped me because it gives me control. Whatever gives you control. If the tracking makes you feel like you're hyper-focused on weight loss and it's not helping you and it's causing you to binge eat because you're feeling like you're too restricted, number one, stop being so restricted. Add more calories in. Track higher calories. Track 2,000. Track 2,500. Track what you want to eat. But track so that you can see what you can change. That's why it's so helpful, is because if you're tracking 2,500 calories and you see that you're gaining weight, you can track 2,000 and lose weight, right? Like, that's something I really wish I would have understood from the beginning, though I was in desperate measures and I really needed. And I think that's why my pin post focuses on bargain basement calories, is because most people really needed just an abrupt something that works. But some people don't. And so I really want to figure out a way to write that, to explain it to people so that they realize they don't have to bargain basement it to be successful, because you don't. Oh, Sunshine Cleveland, welcome. Let's see. Carly's mama says, I had a pastor point out that others don't make us feel away. We allow ourselves to feel away. I never looked at my frustrations with situations that I had a choice on how to deal with it. Yes. And that is hard. That's another thing that's really hard to break up. You know, immediately if someone hurts my feelings, I have to say, like, you know what? It's really not a big deal. Why did it hurt? You know, like with my dad, you know, like, why did it hurt when he shamed me again? Well, that's because he shamed me 50 billion times my entire life. And every single time he does it, he brings up every 50 billion time he ever did it, even if he apologized for it. And I had to like go, no, you know what? He's a human. This is his habit. He can change it. He's going to feel bad about it later, but he's not going to apologize because that's also a habit. And I have to just like let it go. But I also don't have to let it affect me. And I also don't have to let him into my life if he's going to do that, which is what I told him, which is why he apologized. Right? Like sometimes we have to care about ourselves more than other people. And if it hurts other people, we have to just do it anyway, because if we're not happy, we can't help other people be happy, and we can't have healthy relationships. Okay, my kids are all awake now, guys, just so warning you in advance. I feel the crowd outside my door right now. They're wondering if they should come in because it's school time. They actually woke up. Woot. All right. It's better to count daily weight or do the math weekly as you do on maintenance mode. Is it better? She's asking. It really, I don't know if it's better either way. I find the average weight is probably a little bit more accurate to what your body's actually doing, because we have so much water weight fluctuations up and down. So writing those high and lows and then finding the middle ground over time is probably a better way of keeping track. But I never did that. I only tracked my weight that it was on Saturday or Sunday, whatever the day was my weigh-in. And so then sometimes I was super happy that week because I lost so much and then gained it back the next day. Or sometimes I was super sad because I gained 9 pounds overnight, you know, because my water weight was all over the place. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm the only ketoer. Well, Dave and I are both keto, but I'm the only one actually like tracking at our house. So we make all kinds of different meals, but most of my kids are capable of feeding themselves, so I don't always have to cook their food. But yeah, even when I do, the whole time I'm like, oh, thinking about what I'm going to be eating and not thinking about what I'm making, you know? Oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to get to the bottom of this one today, I don't think. We'll keep trying. You guys, I'm doing a live chat. You can come in if you need to, but I'm still on. I'm sorry I'm taking so long. What do you want to ask me? Do you want to ask me something? Get your basics done. Eat your breakfast. I'll be done soon. Are you going to ask me something?
No.
Okay, well then bye. See ya. You can go now. Okay. She's not going. I'm going to pretend like she's not here. All right. Just making sure I didn't skip anything. Okay. Okay, so Michelle from Life Adventures in Keto says, I've been tracking for the last 30 days, and wow, I'm overeating not tracking. I had no idea. So yeah, sometimes when you do lazy keto, you tend to just eat a graze or eat things that are higher calories than you thought because, you know, it's keto, right? Keto is very easy to overeat on. Did you know that? Because keto is lots of fat, and fat is high calorie. Yep. So you got to be careful. You got to monitor that and figure out what your maintenance is and then keep it there if you're going to do that fat stuff. All right. Oh, she's not here anymore. Sorry, Michelle. She just posted a video too. Go watch it. Okay. I'm just going to see if I can find anything super important. Yes, Beth 12M says, when you stop eating things like the potato, you go back and realize how naturally sweet things are because your taste buds change. Yes, that is the biggest thing that's really helped. On keto, I have really learned to love the taste of real food and not Obviously, I still love my bars, you know. I'm still a packaged food girl. I still like the flavor of sweet treats, keto treats, things like that. But I also have noticed that like sweet potato is really sweet. Strawberries are really sweet. The things that like, you know, didn't taste so sweet before are very tasty now and much more satisfying than they were when I was eating sugar and flour. So, yeah, that's another benefit for keto, right? For sure, especially if you're doing it clean. Karen says, I'm not sure I can convince myself that potatoes are gross. They are my favorite food. I literally have looked at, so like, example, say you're going to make mashed potatoes for your family, but you're not going to eat them. I make them up and I look at the glop that sticks to the edge of the pan, how gluey and nasty it looks. And I think, that's disgusting. It's glue. Potatoes are glue. Ugh, they're glue. I have said potatoes are glue so many times that literally I thought I was going to vomit that first bite of potato because I was like, this is glue. I'm eating glue. It's just a mental thing that I've done. I didn't even realize I was doing it. Same with rice, and I haven't tried rice yet because rice was a big one for me. I would overeat on, and so I don't know for sure if I will do rice in the next while. I have plans to do rice and gluten-free pasta at some point because I really don't think I need to not do that. I'm just not quite ready for that. Plus, gosh, like I can only fit so many carbs in, and then I buy them and they go bad. I can't stand it if they go bad. So like I have to be more careful about what I buy because I like bought a bunch of sweet potatoes and some sweet corn and like other things that like the corn on the cob, I've had like multiple ears go bad because I can't eat it before they're gone, before they go sour. Because it's not the time of year for corn, so it's not like it's the freshest anyway. Yeah, but that one corn on the cob has been actually really refreshing. Yeah, Carly's mama says I had to stop buying Lolly's granola because I'd be doing walk by bites through the day. Yeah, don't ever do walk by bites of anything. Of anything. Plan your meals and eat them as meals. Try really hard to focus on getting 30 grams of protein every time you eat. Tell yourself you have to do that because it stimulates muscle protein synthesis. And then wait 3 to 4 hours because that's how long it takes to reset. That's another thing that really helped me, even as I'm coming out of intermittent fasting and not doing it as much. I'm still doing that, eating 30 grams minimum of protein every time I put something in my mouth. So that eliminates snacking for the sake of snacking and turns it into a meal. It's just, it can be 5 meals, but it needs to be 30 grams of protein to count as a meal. And so if you look at it that way, it can help also. That is another thing that has helped me. Let's see. Food will taste different if you don't eat them for a long time. Yep. Okay. And fries, I can't do fries because they are too high in calories. There's too much fat. So that is the thing about carbs. You can have carbs or fat. You can't have both of them. At least not in the volume of fries or a donut. So that's where keto treats are still helpful because like I can still have a keto sweet cupcake, but I still can't have a regular cupcake because that calorie level is ridiculous. And I don't want to give away that many calories to a stupid donut or a freaking cupcake. It's not worth it. When I can eat a keto one, be just as satisfied, and have way fewer calories. It's another reason I like the Built Bars, because the other bars have higher calories. The Built Bars are 130. I can get the same pleasure out of 130 calories as I can from 200 calories in a Quest bar. You know what I mean? Now, maybe it will kick me out of ketosis, or maybe it will stimulate insulin response. I don't know. But for me, it's a mental thing with the calories now. I'm like, I'm going to get more for my buck. So, yeah. And your binge foods won't taste the same anymore after you've done it for a long time. Yep. And I think that's literally what Keto Rewind is discovering now, that her entire mental focus and taste buds and the way her body reacts to food has completely changed, and she should be thrilled about that. Should she be bummed out about the weight gain? Who cares? You learned something. You learned that you no longer need those binge foods in your life. You have cured yourself of that. They don't taste good. It's not worth it. Right? Isn't that awesome? That is huge. I don't even think she realizes that. You guys go over there and tell her. Go tell her, because dude, that is huge. I should have told her that. I don't think I did. Maybe I did. I can't remember. Okay. Wait, what? Putting xanthan gum with coconut flour seems to give it a starch consistency. I haven't tried that. I just barely bought coconut flour for the first time ever. It's sitting in my cupboard. I don't know what to do with it yet. I don't like cooking. So like if I have to make something that I don't know how to make all of a sudden, I really want to make protein muffins where you use protein powder and egg white and a little coconut flour, I think. I'm not sure what goes in it. But the problem is that I think you have to beat the egg whites. And anytime there's a stupid thing where you have to beat it to peaks, I'm just like, I'm out. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I need to look into it more because people keep swearing by these protein muffins and they're so low calorie, but I just haven't done it. One quarter cup coconut flour, 7 tablespoons hot water, 3 teaspoons xanthan gum. To make what? Like a roll? What did I miss? I missed that. I don't know what she's saying. Oh, the keto fries. Oh, I am not going to do that. That's way too much work. You guys, I think it's more power to you. But yeah, nope. Nope. Yeah, Lisa Sum says peanut butter cups and keto candy sitting around is a minefield for me. The only one that triggers me is the gummy bears still. So I buy those keto gummy bears, and if they're sitting here on my shelf every day they call me. But you know what? Every day I just say, nah, not today. It's not in the macros. So even though I have a craving for them, I'm not giving in to the craving. But I don't know. It probably helps also that I ate too many of them on Halloween and my stomach hurt for like 3 days. So, yeah. All right, let's see. Karen says she uses the Now food supplement, vitamin D, 2,000 IUs. The ones I bought have 5,000 IUs in them, and I'm taking at least 10,000 a day, plus the 2,000 that I get in my Ritual vitamin. I also have used Naturello, the powdered ones in the past, and I've really liked it. I've switched to a fat version, though, because I'm taking them outside of mealtime, and I know it's fat soluble. I used to take them with meal, and that's why I use the powdered ones. So if you don't want extra fat from the oil ones, you can get the Naturello ones that are powdered. Okay. Putting the keto fries in the mini dash waffle fries. That is a good idea. I might actually eat that. Anything that can be put into the waffle maker, I could probably get by with. If I have to like roll out dough and cut it into fry shapes, that's literally never gonna happen. But you know what? Everybody said that putting a Quest bar in the dash was like awesome and like cookies and stuff. I did it and I thought it was so underwhelming. I'd rather just eat the gooey Quest bar by itself. I have a whole box of Quest bars that I haven't even touched in forever since I bought the Built bars. I need to eat them because they will eventually go bad probably, but they don't fit in my macros. They have too many calories. All right, let's see. Oh, I'm like, what is Fat to Keto talking about? Jelly. She says, I don't know how much some people get so many overnight. I have no clue how to get more. And I'm like, oh, right, subscribers, right? I know. I remember when Keto Rewind started her channel. I was a freaking YouTuber already. And it made me sad because she's like, I couldn't find anybody that was like a real person that was doing keto and like showing the real things. And I'm like, why didn't you find me? She has 98,000 subscribers. 98,000. I am doing something wrong. I was thrilled I got to 18,000 finally because I felt like it took so long. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. Maybe I'm turning people off. I don't know. I lose a lot every time I post a video. I think people are just tired of me. I don't know. Thanks for all of you who are still here. There's a lot of you still here today. I'm like still talking and we're going to be a 2-hour video here. Holy crud. I can really talk today apparently. All right. Oh, Christina Salmon was here or is here. I don't know if she's still here. You think she's still here. Okay, let's see. Okay, so like for Thanksgiving, yeah, we're going to talk about Thanksgiving next week on Keto Chat, on chat. We're going to talk about Thanksgiving plans. But It is one day, and you can eat whatever you want on one meal and not stress over it and just have a little taste of everything. Don't have a giant piece of every single pie, but you can have a sliver of every single pie, and it's not going to cause you much damage. But be expecting that tomorrow you'll have water weight gain. You will probably have bloat. You might be miserable. You'll have carb hangover, especially if you haven't really done carbs. But it's not going to waylay your weight loss journey. If it's one and done, you're gonna be fine. Just get back on plan to do it. So my plan is actually to track it as best as possible, track what I'm gonna do. And I'm also trying to make as many of my treat things, like pumpkin pie is super easy to make, keto and gluten-free. So I'm gonna make gluten-free crust, and that's gonna be a carb I'm gonna choose to eat. I'm going to eat some mashed potatoes. I'm going to make some candied yams with sweeteners, not with sugar, right? I'm going to make things still keto-ish, lower calorie, but not full carbs, not full keto. I've done full keto though for the last this will be my 4th year, so 3 years. Past 3 years, I've done full keto. One of my favorite Thanksgiving recipes is the fake yams, the cauliflower pumpkin dish that is like a cauliflower pumpkin casserole that Keto Connect does with pecan glaze or pecan topping. Guys, it doesn't taste like yams at all, but it is a Thanksgiving food. It is so freaking good. In fact, it's so good, I'm tempted to still make it, even though I'm going to be having yams. It's like now a new Thanksgiving favorite for me. I don't know if I'll do it because it's a lot of work and I have to do all Thanksgiving food this year myself, me and Dave. Help. But yeah, you can eat one meal and not track it and just eat what you want and then go back on your merry way. Just make it a choice. Make it a conscious choice. Expect that you're going to have some water weight gain and move on. Right? What?
Can I make waffles?
Yeah, you can make waffles.
Yay.
Speaking of carbs. All right, let's see. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm not even halfway through. Silver Star says, have you considered doing the memberships? A lot of me, yes. It's like $1.99 a month. I do have the option. I just don't know what I would offer people. And I kind of feel dumb asking for money without giving anything. I don't know. If anybody has any good ideas, I should add that join button on my channel. I just haven't done it. I don't know. I don't know what I would offer. I just feel like it would be weird to just, yeah. Anyway. Oh, thank you. She says, Karen Rothwell says, girl, if I don't see you on a chat before, happy birthday. You're going to be 46. Holy cow. Yep. And you too. Happy birthday. Me and Karen have birthdays just a few days apart. I think hers is, wait, no. We're the day apart. We're a day apart. Me and Tammy McDonald's are 3 days apart, if I'm right. If I remember right. But yeah. Crazy, right? Oh my gosh. My steps usually come in from taking care of my chickens. Yeah, me too, but I don't get that many except for if I'm chasing them down like I did in my last video. All right, let's see. Yes, what do you think about starting with a higher calorie amount with carbs being 20 or below and protein being 120 or above? I think that's brilliant. Wish I would have done that. Yep. Best thing to do is track what you're eating now. If you're gaining weight, cut it way back. If you're maintaining weight, cut it back a little bit and then do that. Carbs under 20, protein at your desired body weight, or at very least your lean mass amount. 120 is a good number. And then fats adjusted as you so desire for calories. Yes, that's what I really think it should be. I need to figure out how to write that well so that I can explain it better in my getting started guide. Oh, Jelly says she has ADD. Did you get diagnosed as a kid? I didn't really seem like I had ADD as a kid, so I don't know. How long does it take to start losing weight on keto? I've been doing keto for 2 weeks and gained 1 pound. Actually lost, almost 2. So frustrating. Well, that depends on a lot of things. How much water you were holding in your body. Because usually the big, huge water weight whoosh thing that happens with keto is just all water. You won't really lose any weight if your calories aren't in check. So you have to track and you have to know what your calories are. And yeah, like any diet, it takes time. Like time. Also, if you're not managing your electrolytes, your body will retain water. So it could be that. But yeah, your calories have to be in a deficit, just like any diet, or it won't work. But how long does it take? It just depends on the person. A lot of people lose a lot of weight that first week because they drop a lot of water weight. Most people lose like about a half a pound a week, and it just takes time to show up on the scale. So I always say, give it 90 days, especially if you've never done it before. If you're a chronic dieter, it might just be because your calories aren't low enough, and you either have to go to bargain basement or you have to raise those calories up by reverse dieting for a while and then try again. Loving It on Keto says, I do not substitute any keto foods like breads because breads were always a trigger for me. I don't want to exchange something that will cause me to overeat. That's how I was in the beginning as well. That is definitely a good tool. Don't substitute the things that trigger you with other triggers. If you're a sweets trigger person, don't have a lot of the keto treats. If you are a breads person, don't use any keto bread substitutes. That can definitely help. I did all of that in the very beginning. I didn't have any bread substitutes. In fact, I still didn't have any bread substitutes until I started eating actual bread this last time. It's weird eating bread, but I can eat bread and it's fine. I don't find myself craving more. It's crazy. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah. Okay, I'm not going to address that because I'll to say things I shouldn't say about my kids and they hate that. Okay, let's see. Will this video stay up in your channel in your playlist? I need to rewatch it with a notebook. Yes. All of the videos stay. It takes a little while for them to repost, but they all stay. And I actually have a playlist for all of my live chats. So if you're looking for them, go up into the bar at the top, look for playlists, click it, and it'll show you all my playlists. And there's one that says Keto Q&A. You can watch all of them from the beginning of time and see how my opinions have changed over the time, because they have changed. Lots of things have changed. All right, guys, I'm going to have to go. I'm sorry. I'm sure there's other questions and stuff, but we are almost 2 hours in. Nobody is going to watch this video. That's the one thing I worry about. Oh, and Carol from Jerusalem, hello. Oh, man. I love you. I love you. I love you guys. Okay. 29th for Karen and the 27th for Tammy. I remember. Look at me using my brain. I'm so happy. And Karen and I are the same age, and Tammy's a year older than us. So there we go. You guys should just come to Utah and we'll just go to a social distancing keto wing party. Just kidding. Sigh. We do not. Oh, that's a good one. Pol AG per Polag. I don't know how to pronounce your name. You're very attractive. I hope that's a real picture of you. Okay, I think birthdays are a major source of weight gain. If you have 30 friends or family, you're eating cake every week. Learn to say no. Yes, and you know what? I have 9 kids, so there's always a freaking birthday. And so we'll often have keto cupcakes from like Keto Cakes Utah. I just got an affiliate link with them. It's not the best, but it's something. I think you can only use your coupon one time. Lame. But yeah, anyway, get a keto thing. Plan it out. Or just don't have anything like that, you know. And there's also things like Nush cakes. I'll go get a Nush cake for a birthday when I'm in a pinch because I can get that at a local grocery. Some Rebel ice cream if I really want to splurge on calories. There's so many calories in Rebel, but it's really good. So yeah, there's always a birthday here too. Are you kidding me? And for my own birthday, I've never really been a cake person. I've never really had a cake. This year, I'm actually thinking about doing some kind of cake party because we can't really go out. I always go out and get like freaking prime rib, and I might still do that for my birthday. I have not decided yet what I'm going to do for my birthday. It's hard because my birthday is right after Thanksgiving, and so I'm going to have a really high day on Thanksgiving, and then my birthday is like, what, this year it's only 4 days later. So I don't know if I want to have 2 really high days that close together. I don't want to screw up my data. My precious data. I have to make sure that I don't overeat the calories so much that it screws up my pretty data. So either I have to throw out the high calorie day entirely and not count it, or because I don't want my daily calories to go backward. I can't go lower than 1750. Does that make sense? Because I did that once and that was dumb. I did that a couple weeks ago. I did 1600 every day and that was a big mistake. I was super tired and exhausted. I don't want to do that again, but I might. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know yet. I will let you know on Tuesday because I will know by then what I'm going to do. All right, guys. I got to go. Oh my gosh. I really have to go. I love you. Bye. pumpkin buying birthday cake for your birthday. I love that. My family did not do that. Isn't that weird? I don't know. Never occurred to them to celebrate my birthday on Thanksgiving. I guess maybe because it's just a little further away, but yours is pretty close to mine, so I don't know. Yeah. All right. I love you guys. Thank you all for being here. I'm sorry this video is so long. If you made it to the end later, if you are like a champion and you just made it to a minute or an hour 50, what? Like, put a princess crown in the comments below because you are a queen or a king. All right. Thanks, you guys. I love you. Talk to you all again soon.